Today's December 7th. The winter meetings have started, and there's actually some things to talk about. The Pirates also got password. This is going to be a fun one, guys. You're listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Yins, guys. Thank you for listening to the Bridge to Buctober podcast, where we talk all about them Pittsburgh Pirates and that. My name is Josh, and I am joined, as always, by my brother, Jake. What's up, Jake?
What's going on, man?
How we doing?
Hey, we're doing fine, man.
Had a week off?
Had a week off. Yes, I did.
From here,
From traveling, yep. Yeah, I've spent some good quality time with family. It was a good time. Enjoyed it. Broncos are sitting in the 1 seed.
Well, your Buckeyes lost.
Yeah, a good game, good tight game. We still get that number 2 seed in that, so maybe we'll have a rematch in the championship game.
As much as they're not playing baseball, we got baseball to talk about.
Heck yeah, man.
Absolutely love it. We're actually... Sorry, I'm just turning your mic up a little bit. Actually, in some news, and we've been in news, but you kind of wonder coming up to this, like, are they going to start to maybe put out some of the fire here? And there was a lot of me kind of thinking this team's not going to really have a chance at anything. I don't know that I've changed my mind on that, but there's certainly enough to talk about and enough for it to be interesting right now.
Yeah, I mean, I think we decided to jump right into the most recent tweet from Rosenthal confirming.
I forgot to hit record again, Jake. Just telling you that I just hit it just to get it from here. I can patch up the beginning, but I'm just so angry when I do that. Last week, was it last week? Last week I did not record the whole thing, and so I have to. When I do that, I have to go all the way back and literally re-watch the episode, because you can't download it from YouTube until it processes, and just record it being played back. I almost did it again. It's just part of that process. I need to just record it. I just need to record the whole intro and just do it all at once, because I leave the countdown out of it just to save room. And then I have to remember to hit record before it. And right before I did that, I realized I didn't write an intro, so I had to wing that. I do need a checklist, Doug. Doug says I need a checklist. I do, and most of it's just in my head. Listen, you were about to get on to really exciting things. Mm-hmm. And so I don't want to derail, but I had to just jump in because that's what we do here. A little more laid back, a little more, behind the scenes kind of stuff. So anyway, let's go ahead. What are you jumping into?
Okay, so let me start that over again a little bit. The latest tweet is the Pirates are actually working on their multi-factor authentication.
Yeah. Okay. So
authentication.
Here, okay. So just for reference of what you're saying here, Cheryl puts in that she saw me on NS9 the other day. If you didn't get a chance to see that, NS9 does their show The Point. It's kind of like an around the horn type format there. I was on there Friday, and I went on a rant about passwords and multi-factor. And we're not going to go down that path, because I want you to go back and listen if you hadn't. It was fun. I had a little bit of fun.
I had to drop the joke, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I had a little bit of fun with it, but go back and watch that. They do a really cool formatted show there. It's fun to get guys together like that and kind of just fire 90-second answers that you got to try to rush through and everything. But it's pretty fun. Go to watch NS9's The Point from Friday. And listen, Doug, you know me. You know
as soon as he started that question.
I had that in the bag.
Yeah.
Because when something
is going to rattle us off so fast.
First off, I was interested anyway, because it's one of the best nicknames in baseball. You know what I mean? And so, like,
currently, right?
Yeah. But you know, I mean, I'm just because of the way it is, right? I think it's a really funny one. But obviously known about this guy. We've been wanting to pair up a trade with Boston for a long time. So they did that. But I'd known that name and been seeing it and figuring out how to say it long before the Pirates ever acquired him. So yeah. And also I planned to say that it's a 10-character password, which means I've counted them.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I knew how to spell it.
Anyway,
thanks, Greg.
We actually threw a 4-year contract offer to Sir Kyle Schwarber.
Yeah, Ken Rosenthal, about 23 minutes ago, put that out there in his article. Good to shout out where we heard that.
Mm-hmm.
You said 4 years, right?
4 years and assuredly more than 100 million.
Yeah. For certain, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so let's talk about that. Like, where do we think that is? You know that it's north of 100, which means it's going to be the second one if he would ever accept it. And that's going to be, that's where the question comes in. We know the Pirates have been interested. We know that the Phillies are the front runners and that he'd probably prefer to go back to Philly.
I mean, it's north of 25 because 25 would be that 100 mil.
Yeah. And so all the projections had him at 29 AAV. I think 5 years, 29 is the projections. So that puts it around a 116, if I'm thinking right. Or that might have even been in the article. Either way, I don't think it's there. If you're going to get him, there's no way that's a waste of time to offer 29. It has to hit 30. So 30 would be 120.
Yeah.
Do you think they went there, or do you think this is more of we tried, we gave him an offer?
It's so hard to say, but I feel like if it wasn't a realistic offer, it really probably doesn't get talked about. Or if it does get talked about, it doesn't get talked about in the light of Ken Rosenthal actually bringing it up as, hey, the Pirates offered a contract. It would have been more like, the Pirates are, offering a contract and it's never going to work. It's too little. They would mention that. So I think it's a realistic offer. And I think they know they're going to have to go north of, they're going to have to overpay for a big bat.
They have to. Well, specifically this one, even if we want to keep it Schwarber centric right here, you have the Phillies who don't want to miss out on him and want to bring him back. You have the hometown Cincinnati Reds who are, despite what they said at the beginning of the offseason, are willing to spend to get Schwarber.
Yeah.
And so if you're talking about guys, I mean, those guys have offered obviously mega contracts out before. Joey Votto was $200 million. So they're not, it's like, even though they're normally spending less, they have the ability to go out and push for something like that. And then the Mets are also involved, and you know how Cohen is. He'll overspend on a bad team, apparently. Who cares if they cost a lot? Let's sign him.
Yeah.
And they don't have Alonso on the books right now, so obviously they'll go to 40 million if they think that's what it takes to get him, and that's what they want. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So you're up against some tough competition here, and I think that they're going to have to pay up. So, if you think about it, if they go to 35, you're talking about 140. And so, do you think they could go that high? Do you think they're saying, if you're seriously trying to be in the mix, I think you have to start at 30 or 35. AAV is what I'm saying. So 120, 140 for a 4-year deal.
Yeah.
Is that something that, if the thing is if the offer's there, he could accept, which means you're willing and able to put that money into a player. That's a good sign.
Yeah, for sure. And so my I don't want to say a pivot, but my little spin-off on this is, if we're willing to do that for Schwarber, we better have, a little bit of that money to be able to go a little bit more than that for 2 players. If we don't land Schwarber. That makes sense?
A little bit.
So if we're willing to go say 140 million over 4 years. Let's make sure that we have about 150 million that we can go on two players rather than having it all sunk into one. If you miss out.
I see what you're saying. Well,
like I'm hoping we don't miss out and then don't spend that money.
Yeah, what you're thinking about though is the 35, right? So if you're willing to go 35 for Schwarber, then what you're saying is now you want to make sure that you're willing to go 40
on 2 players.
Yeah. Okay.
Like give me 2 guys at 20 apiece.
Do you think think that's a better move? Who would be 2 guys you would go
50 home runs?
Who's your 2 guys that go 20 million? I don't think Suarez gets to 20.
I don't think so either.
If Naylor went for, what was it? He didn't go for 20. It's just under 18 and a half, something like that. I forget. So like, I think I'd pay more for Naylor than I would Suarez right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I think Suarez is looking for 15 to 20 in that range, depending on how long you go. I think the shorter term, the more AAV you have to go. But I think that's the thing where it's like you have to be able to say what can be 2 players that you would pay 20 million for. Martin says 18.6. I think that's the Naylor money. Let's check in with the chat here for a second while you think here. OG says Phillies shrug, offer 5 for 160. Doug says he seems to be carrying a lot of water from Ben. Yeah, I don't. Well, Ben, this can never come from Sherrington. First off, this can't come from Sherrington. I don't think he's allowed to say that. This is coming from Schwarber's agent or from a leak somewhere, lower level or something like that. I don't know. But most of the time, this is coming from an agent.
Yeah.
Because an agent is the one that's motivated to say the Pirates put money on the table. How about you?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So the agents are going to leak this kind of stuff, not really Ben. And the agent would, if the Pirates offered 4 years for 100, I don't think the agent even brings it up because that's not helping anything. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like if that's all the more you're offering me, that doesn't help my client's case. If the Pirates put a $30 million AAV contract down on the table, I'm letting the Reds and the Phillies know first. You know what I'm saying? If I'm the agent, that's the first thing I'm doing is like, hey, Pirates are willing to go 30. What's your offer? And then he goes and he says, hey, make sure everybody knows that the Pirates sent us some money. Like they're going to send us some money if we'll take it. And then, Rosenthal runs with that. That's almost always where it's coming from.
Yeah.
Miles says, name the 2 guys before saying it's a better move. Could be. It's just very fair. But as far as like the 20 million, while we're thinking about that. OG says, need those other players, even if they were to land Schwarber, still someone to play left field and third base at a minimum. I think that's true. But I think if you land Schwarber, could they not be $20 million players at left field and third base? You know what I'm saying? Like you could see something where you're bringing in a Suarez, so maybe that's your 15. But instead of the next guy being up to 20, maybe you get Suarez for 1 year, 18, something like that. I don't know if that's even a possibility if you land Schwarber. But then if you pivot, and could you go with someone maybe less in left field? Just to say, like, it can't be what it is, but it can be. I don't even know. We have a list of guys that we're even thinking about, but I don't remember really writing down a ton of guys. But when you think about the price of guys, I mean, maybe that's a good opportunity. And we're going to get into this later, probably when we talk more about winter meetings. We are going to get into the Garcia trade probably before that when we're done with this. But maybe that's an opportunity to make a trade for Stephen Kwan, who doesn't offer power. If you're getting 50 homers from Schwarber, you can go for less power, get a defensive first guy who's going to do a lot of good things. Maybe that's something. I don't know what it takes to get a guy like that to play left field. Third base, you could go Okamoto, who has some questions, you know what I mean? Like he's not the Murakami, but he could play third base. That would be something that's interested. I think the Pirates are are very interested and think they have a chance at Okamoto. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that would be part of the market that I think they would feel more confident about. Yeah, Miles says Bellinger and Polanco would be close to that amount. I don't think Bellinger's in that ballpark, guys. I really don't. I think that I think he's going to get a lot of money. He does a lot of things good. The defense doesn't slump. Smart baseball doesn't slump. This guy doesn't strike out a ton. Yeah, the power might, but like, I'm sorry, Bellinger's waiting for Tucker to get signed. And wherever Tucker doesn't go, they're going to start a bid war for Bellinger. He's a Boris client. There's no, and so is Tucker. So like they're playing this thing up. I love the idea of Bellinger. My problem is I don't want the Pirates to wait around for him. He will wait. He will wait for Tucker to sign, guarantee. That's the way Boris does things. And I don't think that the Pirates need to be in the business of waiting around for him, because I think he goes for very close to 30 million AAV as well. And more years because he's younger. So I don't see the Pirates playing in the Bellinger thing. And I don't think that he's close to that. I don't know about Polanco. And like I said, maybe we just get into it now. I mean, everybody's in it right now. OG says that close to 30 AAV or more. A couple don't. OG, Melman, you guys don't want Polanco. And there's some of that. I don't know. Polanco could get middle teens. Polanco's interesting to me, because the numbers are there. He is, still young enough, right? He's sitting at low 30s.
Yeah, he'll be 32 next year.
Miles says the same thing. Polanco, it's close to Jake's number if it works right. Yeah, he'll be 32 next year. I mean, he's had some good years. He's pretty far removed from those good years, but like 26 home runs last year. That's good. You know what I mean? There's a lot to like. The strikeouts are under 100, and he played in 138 games. So you like that. 134 OPS plus, all said. I mean, that's what the Pirates could use. Now, he's shortstop, second base, and I don't think shortstop is I don't think it's a great idea, right? It's the numbers aren't good. The numbers aren't great at second base either. He's played some third base. So if you don't get something there, I don't know. But I keep going back to, like, why bring in a free agent second baseman when you've got options at second base? I'd much rather, because if you sign him, you still have the same holes to fill. You still have third base. You still have left field. And I don't know, man. That's interesting to me. How do you feel about Polanco?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I'm going to go after somebody at second base, I'm probably going to do that via trade, because we've been linked to Ketel Marte, and I think I would like that option better.
You send Nicky G back in the trade.
You send Nicky G away. I mean, unfortunately, or I mean, if you can figure something out to where you can send them somebody different, Nicky G can slide to third. Because I don't think.
I just don't know, man. The problem with that is it. Yeah, I mean, Ketel Marte. Ketel Marte. Yeah, no, that's well, but it might take Termar instead.
Right.
Are you willing to go there?
Okay, I'm still willing to do that.
Okay. I mean, I don't mind that. You can figure second base out later. If you think that Termar's the future, like if you're someone who thinks that and Jake's high on Termar, he likes him.
I am.
And so like the thing is, if you think Termar's taken over in a year or two and you move him, then, you figure that out later.
Mm-hmm.
Is Marte only have 1 year on the, because listen, they're linked to Marte.
Mm-hmm.
They're linked to just about everybody. The problem is, oh, you know what? Martin, good timing. There's always a delay with the chat and what we see. So like, I know that these chats are coming in, like you haven't, we're ahead of, the chats are coming in before anyway. So Martin waited a little while for this to get posted, but it just came up right before I was about to say this. Would not trade for Marte. They want pitching, and I wouldn't want to give up the young pitching. The biggest thing is, Jake, we just traded Oviedo.
Mm-hmm.
Are you done with pitching moves?
Not if you can sign somebody.
Okay. Wow.
I haven't looked through.
Thanks, OG. I was just about to ask what he has left on his deal. 5 years left on his deal. This is a huge return.
Yeah.
You're giving up some serious players. Seth Hernandez gone. At least. For starters.
That.
Seth Hernandez is gone in this deal.
No.
For sure.
I'll start with probably Keller.
Yeah, but he's going to have to be paired with Seth Hernandez. And Termar.
I don't think Seth Hernandez has to go.
Why?
I just don't.
I think that's the guy I'd like to move. He's the furthest away, highest. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're going to have to give up somebody, like, you're going to have to give up a top 5 guy.
But I don't think this is going to sound weird to say, but I don't think he's far enough yet to be like winning us a trade.
I think a lot of times those are the trades that do get you there.
I feel like he needs to throw 1 year or so.
Okay, so here's our top 5, Jake. Connor Griffin, Bubba Chandler, Seth Hernandez, Hunter Barco, Edwin Florentino. I mean, Termar's number 7 now that Garcia's here.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So Garcia's close. I don't think you move him. I mean, obviously you're not moving him. Florentino's far away, but man, is everybody super high on him right now. Yeah. And I don't think you want to go position players, which you don't have a lot of. I don't think you want to do that. So I'm looking, I mean, Connor Griffin, come on, let's get real. Bubba Chandler, I'm in the same boat with. You're just not moving him. Seth Hernandez is a guy that you don't plan on being there this year. Hunter Barco's 24. It's probably too late to move him for a big return. Because what you want to do is you want to give them somebody for now, and you want to give him somebody for later. That's how you win a trade. I'm sorry, I know Seth Hernandez is the real deal, or could be. We haven't seen a lot from him. He's 19 years old. You can replace that in the system.
Yeah.
I'm saying if that's what gets the deal done for Ketel Marte could, like, this is a really good player.
Yeah. Yeah. 4.5 win WAR player, 145 OPS plus, 28 homers. Yeah. I mean, I'm doing what I have to get that deal done, minus Bubba, and Connor Griffin. Obvious, and then the obvious. We're not trading Paul Skeens. Paul Skeens is the reason we're making these trades.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's the last time I'll even mention that.
Yeah. You know, Wikipedia calls switch hitter bats ambidextrous.
Nope.
Ambidextrous, whatever.
He's amphibious.
Yeah. OG says he would take a haul. I'm looking to see. Melman says just say no to Chandler and Hernandez. So I'm interested in this. Hernandez is a guy that is an absolute no for you guys.
The reason that I would say I'm okay with it is because as a fan, I haven't fallen in love with Seth Hernandez yet. I haven't had a chance to yet. So if I see him go, I'll be like, it's fine. It's just fan wise, right?
Yeah.
I never had a chance to really fall in love with this guy, so it's not going to bother me.
Yeah. Martin says he would trade for Lau for 1 year. Lau is a DH only for me.
Yeah, I'm not.
He stinks on the field.
Yeah.
I'm not bringing in a second baseman that's the same caliber as Nick Gonzalez, but with homers, just to move Nick Gonzalez out of the way and still have moves to make. If Lau is your DH, you've solved a problem, so I'm okay with it. Outside of that, he's not playing the field for me. Unless it's just like an injury, you know what I'm saying? Like he stinks. And so I'm not doing that, but I'll take the 30 homers from the DH spot. I would take that, but I don't think that changes whether or not you trade for Ketel Marte. You know what I mean? I think that would still be a situation that I would go for. You're not going to have to give up that much. It's a rental player.
Yeah.
I've seen this a little bit. I don't think the A's are willing to move Lawrence Butler. I don't think that's even in their cards. I think that's one of their guys.
Yeah.
Or else, I mean, I like the player. What you're saying is fine. I don't think that they'll do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
I like this line though. This isn't the show. You have to give away talent. We just did that.
Yep.
Oviedo's like legit dude.
Yeah. I actually have a good friend that's a Boston Red Sox fan. I said, you're going to like him.
Oh, he's He's a dog.
He's a dude.
Yeah. So, yeah, I don't know. Miles says Seth Hernandez is a huge trade chip. Pirates were lucky to get him. I mean, the dude's just already throwing 100 miles an hour and has really good stuff. I think that he's probably my best bet if you're going to make a trade and get a Ketel Marte. I don't know who else you would trade that you would get rid of him for. But right now, of all the people that are kind of involved, I think that's the guy I'm parting with him for.
I think I would try not to trade Seth Hernandez, but if it came down to it and that's the only thing that would get it done to get a Ketel Marte,
yeah,
I think I'd be like, this is going to hurt, but this is going to help. And I'd pull the trigger.
Yeah. Just to throw this out there, I mean, 15, 12, 20, 22, 22, and then a player option for just 11 and a half at 37 years old. That's not going to be picked up.
Right.
Or if it is, who cares? It's 11 and a half in 2031. You know what I mean? So the contract is even good. Never going north of 22. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I just think, man, I think this guy is going to be super hard to get. And playing second base, I don't see a problem with the way he ages either. Anyway, I don't know. The links are what they are. It doesn't really mean much right now. Sure. I mean, this is the beginning of winter meetings. He's probably also linked to 7 other teams, right? So if you're going to get him over those 7 other teams, then you're going to have to give up Seth Hernandez. That's going to be tip. But I don't want, just to go back on that, I just don't know that I want Mitch Keller to be one of them at this point. You've already gotten rid of Oviedo, who was probably good for at least over 100 innings.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're going to get a guy who's worth about 180 innings and then try to replace him.
Yeah, I mean,
I just think that's hard, especially when you're having trouble. If you go that route, it's because you're having trouble getting free agents to come here.
Yeah.
Martin says Marte's 32 and his sprint speed is down. Yeah. I get that, but
it's fine.
He's hitting over 25 homers the last 3 years. What do I care if he steals bases? Like, he's never a base stealer in the first place. He plays second base for me.
So let's flip it here a little bit, right?
Yeah.
The Pirates lost. I mean, I think he went somewhere else first. I'm a little bit young for that, but Jay Bell went to the Diamondbacks and started hitting more bombs. Let's bring Ketel Marte to Pittsburgh and let him start hitting more bombs.
Well, yeah, maybe. Some guys, as they age, they learn the zone better. They know what pitches they can hit, and they learn that. They're patient, all that stuff. There's also a real thing to, like, it's easier to hit in Arizona than it is in Pittsburgh. So there's a little bit of that might be in play there too, that I'm not sure. Melman says you don't trade pitchers with legit ace upside. Yes, you do.
Mm-hmm.
You have to.
That's how you get it done.
That's how you get deals like that done. When they're close, you absolutely don't. When they're 19 and they haven't even played low A yet, that you do. Right? Yeah. That's the guy I do get rid of.
A pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, he could be I mean, look at Tyone, how long it took him to get there because of surgeries and everything else that he had to go through. And
even Mitch Keller, it took Mitch Keller a long time to completely develop.
Yeah, I don't know that he had that I don't know that he even had Tyone upside though.
It's fair.
You know what I'm saying? And Tyone's career has not been what it could have been.
Mm-hmm.
So, there's that too. But yeah, as Greg says, by the time Seth Hernandez comes to the league, you've already took your shot. And that's the thing. And the way I see it is, like, if you remove a Bubba Chandler, that's hard to replace because he's going to pitch 150 impact innings for the Pirates this year.
Mm-hmm.
That's a hard guy to replace.
Yeah.
But a 19-year-old prospect, like, you draft a college arm next year and you've replaced at least the prospect, maybe not that ceiling, but if that ceiling gets you 5 years of Ketel Marte,
yeah,
I don't know, man. I think in what could be like 32. I know that we like to say 32 is old. 32 is not old. He's still got a year or two left of prime years.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I think that we shift that a little too early sometimes. Like as soon as somebody hits 30, they're no good anymore. And I'm like, when they hit 30s, when they become a free agent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So like most guys don't hit free agency till 29, 30, 31. So, that makes it hard to believe that, that's it. Queen says she stepped out when we mentioned Schwarber. So yeah, I mean, that's how we started down this path at some point. And, we're here now. I don't know. I mean, there's some other names that we could even go into, and then we'll save the Garcia stuff now that we're here. Greg says if 32 is old, then I'm a relic. I feel it. Baseball old, I think a lot of people know baseball old is different than old, right? But
100%.
But I still don't think 32. Some guys are old at 32.
Yeah.
But for a guy who like his game doesn't include stealing bases. 11 is his career high. When he was 22 years old. And by the time you're 27, you're already not as fast as you were at 22.
Right.
So, and he stole 10 bases at 25 years old. He hasn't stole more than, 4 last year, 7 the year before that, 8 the year before that. He's just not a base stealer. That's not his game. But he's only struck out 100 times, 3 times. And the most he's ever struck out is 109 times. That is different than what we have in our lineup.
Yes. And it's something that we need to add to our lineup. Something that we need some of our younger hitters to see play out.
I would even say, you know how I am with this. I don't mind the strikeouts. Outs are outs.
Yeah.
Sometimes outs are better than grounded into a double play, or strikeouts. Are better than grounded into a double. All the time they are, but I just don't want my entire lineup. So like I'll say that when you say some of our younger players need to see that, I think it's player to player. There are some players I'm okay with. Jack Suwinski needs to strike out. It's a weird thing to say, but I think when he's at his best, he's going to strike out. So if he's ever going to make it, it's not going to be by limiting strikeouts. It's going to be by doing damage. So we don't know if that's ever going to happen with him, but when it did, he struck out. I think O'Neal Cruz is going to strike out. You know what I'm saying? He could limit it some, but he's going to strike out. He's going to be a high clip. He's never going to do what Ketel Marte's doing. And I just think that some guys are a little bit different. You know what I mean? We don't need to go down this either. I have notes, really. I have some notes on some of that stuff that I'll get into some point. But Luis Arraez is not a guy that I'm interested in.
No.
Uninterested. But I don't mean to say that he's a bad, like, I like the 300 average too. Kyle Schwarber hit 240 last year and had a better on base percentage than Luis Arraez did. So who's better? Not to mention Kyle Schwarber hit 50 home runs. And Luis Arraez is just 10, as bad at defense as Kyle Schwarber is. And I think that Luis Arraez has barely stole more bases than Schwarber. Like, there's not a whole lot.
Singles hitter without speed.
He's just, which I don't care. Get on base, right? I literally don't care. And he does get on base. Like, I think he was like 339 on base last year. That's good. He had 292. The 292 I just don't care about. I care about the 340 on base. Schwarber got on base at a 360 clip. He's on base more often. If you even look at, you talk about like, why can't I think of this? Arraez. He had more hits than Schwarber. He had more doubles than Schwarber. But literally times on base, Schwarber was on base more often. Schwarber scored more runs. Schwarber drove in more runs. He's an RBI with nobody on base.
Right.
He created more runs. I don't know. But Luis Arraez doesn't strike out. That is good. He also grounds into more double plays than Schwarber does. I don't know. I think each player is different for their individual reasons. If Arraez was fast and played great defense, along with hitting singles, I'm all in.
Yeah.
I'm all in because 340 is still a good on base.
Right.
But there's other elements to his game that help cover for that. That's a Stephen Kwan type thing.
Yeah.
Right? The defense is elite. Stephen Kwan's another guy you would have to trade for. I don't want to trade any more pitching. That's my thing. That's where I'm at right now. I think they traded their pitcher. I think what they did, and this is my opinion, this is just my guess. I think what they did is they looked at the returns that they were being offered for Mitch Keller. And I think it rings true everything that everybody's ever thought about this. You don't trade Mitch Keller unless you get a major league bat in return. When they weren't getting major league bat return type stuff, they pivoted. So if you were talking with Boston to get Wilyer Abreu or Jarren Duran, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were just like, Keller's just not going to get it done. And they said, what about Garcia? Well, you're not getting Keller. Right. How about Oviedo? I think we can work something out. Then you talk about the rest of the stuff, right? And I just think, I just think that's what's in play here is I think that the return for Keller wasn't good enough.
Yeah, maybe.
Because if you trade him for a prospect, I don't care how good the prospect is, that's a failed trade. So the way that you quote unquote get the Keller trade right is by not trading him unless you get a major league bat back. And if you don't think you can, even if it's Keller and Seth Hernandez to get a guy like Marte, like if it doesn't work, and you probably have to, like I said, probably have to throw in somebody else too. Termar's probably going in that deal. And maybe you can get like a reliever or something in the mix. You know what I'm saying? Help in another way. But if you do something like that, I think that you're better off moving Keller in those circumstances because you're getting legit offensive. But the problem is you now don't have enough pitching. You know what I mean? We did the math on this show about how hard it's going to be to cover those innings. And it doesn't add up. Trading Mitch Keller doesn't add up even before you got rid of Oviedo.
Yeah.
So you've got to come up with innings. So they're going to have to do it. I don't know. I need a lot of pitchers. That's what it takes to get through a year with this. What do you got, Jake?
Yeah,
any more
fair.
thoughts on any of this or any other players to bring up in that? Because I'm going to check through some of this chat stuff. Do you have anything else?
I mean, let me look here. So talked about him. Ryan O'Hearn's the other name that's been floating around.
Yeah.
I feel like he's a good backup plan. He's a good pivot guy per se. It's not like he's a bad player by any stretch of the imagination, but he's just not, he wouldn't be my first target. But if some things fall through and he's still out there,
yeah,
I think he's a guy worth looking at and taking a shot at.
And he's probably a guy that sits and waits a little bit to see who moves, right? Just to see like who's missing out on Alonso and, you know what I mean, whoever else is out there in the first base market, which, by the way, that's the other thing. Pirates are hanging around in the Pete Alonso talks. So I think we can do this one pretty quickly. Neither one of us are fans of Pete Alonso, but I'm going to try to remove that here. The reason the Pirates are quote unquote hanging around is because they're looking for left-handed power.
Yeah.
Left-handed power is like, goes a long way. I'm not like, if I'm the Pirates, I'm thinking we have a first baseman. So you're bringing him into DH or you're moving Horwitz to DH. I don't love that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like there's not enough production there. And no, we're not moving Horwitz to second base either.
No.
Like that Nick Gonzalez is better than that. And so like you start to wonder, like he's not a great fit for this team other than the fact that he hits bombs. So there's that whole thing where it's like you're hanging around, but you're probably not going there because doesn't really fit what they're looking for right now. They're looking for left-handed power. They're looking to replace left field, third base, and DH. That's what they're looking for right now. And if you can't fill those holes, you don't fit this team right now, at least initially, because they're trying to spend money on those positions. So I think it's a smart move to wait on that. Spending money is good. but spending money stupidly is not. And I feel like that would be stupid spending to jump into Alonso here. You're trading Horwitz at that point.
Yeah, 100%.
You're just trying to move him.
And if that's a move that is made, like, again, not a huge fan of Pete Alonso, but I don't necessarily agree that Horwitz is a much better defender at first base than Pete Alonso. Pete Alonso is a very underrated first baseman as far as defense. I think he's a solid first baseman. I think Horwitz might be a touch better, not much better. However, if you bring in a guy like Pete Alonso, 100% you're throwing Horwitz into a trade at some point, trying to get something back for him.
You're obviously missing out on free agents if you're doing that. So now you need to use the trade market to actually get a third baseman, get a left fielder, figure out something.
Yeah. And if there's some way that my problem is you'd be getting rid of a left-handed bat to add in Pete Alonso. However, if you're going to add in a right-handed power bat, Pete Alonso is a good one to add because he's going to hit it over the left field fence no matter how deep it is.
Yeah, who cares?
His power won't be really affected by the PNC Park, but still would rather just not do it.
Mm-hmm.
But, it's not like, I don't know. It wouldn't be the worst move ever, but I feel like we're already set at first base, so just not touch that right now.
Cheryl asked a good question because I keep saying I don't want to trade pitching. So if we don't trade pitching, who do we offer? I think that's the problem.
Yeah.
I think that's why they really need to spend money on the free agent market. Because we've already traded pitching for a player, and that player is your backup plan. And I said this before, right? I said they're going to hang around trying to sign the right guy. They're going to miss out on that guy, and they would have waited too long to make any other moves. And what they did this week was not waited around to make the wrong move. They went ahead and made a move. They've got a player who could be there if you miss out on everything else, but doesn't have to be. So there's a situation there. Let's go ahead and talk about that for a minute, and then we'll let the chat get us back into free agent stuff and trade stuff. But I do think that it's difficult. I do want to, just because I like to poke at Doug Smith. He texts me often. He says we need to add everything to this lineup, average and power. I think what he meant to type in, it must have been autocorrect on his keyboard because his keyboard's from the 90s. I think he meant to say on base and power, not average. So just to clarify, anybody else in the chat that saw Doug's comment, he means on base. That's what matters here. Batting average doesn't. We just talked about. Sorry, Doug, had to. All right, so let's talk about the Jhostynxon Garcia trade because I'm actually excited about this deal, but for the reason that I just said, right? He is a backup plan. And the ceiling's big. And I don't know. I don't know how I feel about the floor necessarily. The defense is good. The base running's good. Disciplined player. Got a lot of power. The swing and miss is something that you're looking at, right? He started in A-ball. He started in A-ball last year and made it all the way to the major leagues. But more specifically, made it all the way to AAA. I kind of expect there to be some swing and miss when you've made that big of a jump.
Sure.
I'm okay giving this guy time to figure it out. I'm also okay if the power does show up. I'm okay with swing and miss. If you're hitting me 30 homers, you can strike out 150 times. I don't care. Now, you get close to 200 strikeouts, I care more about that.
Then you start worrying.
Then you start worrying. Kids swallow quarters all the time. If you guys know the movies that we quote all the time, you think we're hilarious. If you don't know Grumpy or Old Men, you're like, what are they talking about? In that case.
Crap out 2 dimes and a nickel, then you start worrying.
Oh, man. Anyway, I like this trade. I think, like I said, I don't like getting rid of Oviedo in this case. I think that Oviedo is going to be very good. He harnesses control. He's nasty. But I like his attitude. I think he's a dog. But you have to do that. Jhostynxon Garcia is no joke. I think this dude's a good player. He's played a lot of center field. If you heard me on the point, I mentioned the defense because I thought that was something that was a little bit overlooked for this guy. It was definitely overlooked for me. I just assumed right fielder with a ton of power. That's not who he is. He's played a fair amount of right field, but he's played a lot more than of center field than he has. So I think like right now your backup plan in center field, and we had questions. Cheryl asked a question about Jack. OG commented on that, and he's pretty right about that. I mentioned that before in another show. I think it was one of the weekly shows, but I can't remember, about the situation that Jack is facing right now, where they signed him to a contract that nobody else is basically going to like pick him up on waivers if he's not working out. And if he declines that option, he also declines the money because he doesn't have enough service time or something like that. It's kind of leaving me right now, but either way, it's something like that. So yes, they will pass him on waivers if they need to send him down. If you don't have a backup center field, Jack is it. So you can't send him down.
Right.
Garcia gives you an opportunity that if he's hitting and Jack's not, you could keep him around and have a center fielder. I would advise against it. If he's not starting, I think he should be in AAA to start the year. I want him to play more. And that's how I would treat this guy. But eventually, if the season's going a certain way and we just need to get the best 26 on the field, in Pittsburgh, then by all means, I do see him coming and making but he has to play first. So if he's not a starter out of the gate, I start him in AAA. That's why I say I do like the trade, but I don't think that this is the move for left field. I think left field's still something they need to address. But if they happen to miss out on everybody for left field, you could do worse.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree with that. And I think if he ends up being on the team and we do miss out on everyone else, he's going to have a good opportunity. And listen, he just might show up.
Yeah.
The ceiling's there.
He knows what he's up against. He was blocked.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't going anywhere in Boston.
Right.
I mean, we're talking Rafaela and Abreu, Gold Glove outfielders, right? 2 for Abreu, 1 for Rafaela. Jarren Duran, essentially one of the stars on that team, right?
Yeah.
And then, by the way, I didn't mention Roman Anthony yet, who signed a mega deal before he even got his feet wet.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's blocked in Boston. That's why they had to trade from this. They still might trade from this because they can. They could get a 4th outfielder and move one of those guys to get somebody else. They still have the ability to do that. Obviously, you need depth too, but if you could create depth by going out and signing, I don't know. We talked about some of those names. Brian O'Hearn, you know what I'm saying? Or somebody else, like, you know what I mean? Like a Max Kepler or something. You can create depth in the free agent market for not a whole lot. And Boston can certainly afford to do that. You know?
Right. Yeah.
But either way, like that was it. He played 5 games in the major leagues because of injuries. And he wasn't going to be. But was it Miles? Miles said 2-3 years down the road. Man, I just don't think so. He'll be in Pittsburgh this year. I don't know how much.
At some point this year.
Yeah, I don't know how much, but he'll be there this year. 3 years is, I think it's just too far. I think you're counting on this guy after this year. That's why I'm okay with a 1-year deal out in left field.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Get me a 1-year deal for left field right now. Get me through this year. Get me a guy that I know can go this year, and then
the only way he doesn't, if you use him, like flip him.
Use him in a trade.
Yeah.
Yeah. But still.
No, I'm not pulling for that. I'm not advocating for that, but it's a possibility.
I don't, because
it's a player.
I think that, and we're going to get into, well, we kind of already have, but I think as we go through this offseason too, the Pirates also need to think about defense.
Yeah.
no matter what they do to the offense, it's not going to make them a juggernaut. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like, it's not going to make them an offensive juggernaut. They're not going to go from worst to first in offense. They are a pitching first team. That is their strength. So you don't want to move too much of that because you want to keep that their strength. If you end up moving another one of your pitchers, one of your top 7 pitchers, right? That's a problem because now you've just taken what was a strength and weakened it a little bit. And your offense isn't going to be good enough to make up for that, even if that's what you're trying to accomplish. So, like, I think that you have to be careful to say, clearing it up. Thanks, Miles. Wasn't saying delay him for 2 to 3 years. Says he covers a need for 2 or 3 years. Yeah. Dude, I mean, I can imagine him being in left field, Esmeralyn Valdez coming up being in right field, and all of a sudden you're looking at, like, you know, not this year. I mean, Esmeralyn could. We talked about that. He could be here. You know what I'm saying? Imagine that all of a sudden you've got power here. And Reynolds is pushed to DH at that point in the game.
Speaking of Valdez, did you see him beating that tire with a sledgehammer?
Yeah.
I love it.
Yeah.
And develop more power, bud.
And tell me this, Jake. Did he just get a little bit of motivation?
Oh, 100%.
When the password comes to the team, a power hitting outfielder, and all of a sudden he's like, all right, here I am. Yeah. Here I am doing this.
Yeah, bet.
Here I am doing this. And you went out and signed somebody or traded for somebody who's not a 1 year, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you got to feel, as a player, you got to feel like, all right, now I got to beat this guy out. This guy's already been there. So I like that. That's good competition. That's going to push these guys to do even more. I mean, do you end up with Valdez and Garcia in the corners? Like, dude, you're going to have some power there.
Yeah.
Whatever happens in center field, whether Cruz is sticking around. And my goodness, if Cruz actually figures it out and can play, like, think about the fact that you have, I'm thinking about, let's say there's no work stoppage in 27. You can imagine an outfielder or you can imagine an outfield here. Of course, if Schwarber goes home instead of signs with the Pirates, you're moving Reynolds to DH. You've got 2 power hitting left fielder or corner outfielders, and O'Neal Cruz still in center field. Let's say he figures something out. You're all of a sudden going to be looking at that outfield saying, we might be able to hit 60 plus home runs just in the outfield, or 80 home runs. Who knows what the ceiling is there? Probably not 80. That's you're asking for 20 out of the 2 corners, and then, you know, saying Cruz is going to, I'm just saying 70 home runs from that outfield. Realistically.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Possible.
Like, that actually is a little bit exciting to think about. Now, that's like not 2026. Who knows who the GM's going to be there if that happens? Like, because if they don't figure it out, they still need to figure out 2026. Martin says Valdez can play first base too. Dude, when Casas went down, like, there's a video. If you ever, we always love those videos of when the guys are told that they're going to the major leagues. And the Jhostynxon Garcia one, if I remember right, there was like, they always ask those questions. He said, how's first base feeling? He said, good. I feel good. You're talking about a guy who was like, yeah, I'll come in and play first base.
Mm-hmm.
I play center field, but I'm willing to learn first base if Casas goes down, because Casas was down. So they were looking at options, and he said, I'm an option. I want to make it to the show.
Absolutely.
So you got guys willing. And so you're looking at the same thing. Valdez, you're looking at Garcia. Like, these guys are saying, like, I'll do what it takes. I don't know, man. I think there is a lot to like. And Martin says he loves the trade, by the way. I'm trying to look through some of this too. We just get it that we're old. Password's playing center field and winter ball right now, OG said. Yeah, I mean, and here's the thing. He's good at it.
Yeah.
He's not Cedon Rafael at it. Right? Who's maybe the best center fielder in baseball right now defensively. Maybe. I mean, I wanted him, but anyway.
Lawrence Butler's pretty good too.
Lawrence Butler wasn't even playing center field for them. They had that dude that was like jumping over the fence and making plays.
That was Butler, wasn't it?
No, that dude got hurt. He barely played. what was his name? Anybody know the A's center fielder who practically jumped into the second deck to catch a ball and then ended up breaking his clavicle? I didn't break his clavicle. We watched Kicking and Screaming not too long ago.
Love that movie.
I'm not even a movie guy, but I quote so many movies. But the thing is like, if you can handle center field, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
But he plays plus defense in the corners. And the arm is really good, right? Jake, a few weeks ago, we talked about Jhostynxon Garcia and whether or not we'd be willing to take a shot on somebody like that, right? And I think this is it. I think that I'd rather see Jhostynxon Garcia play outfield than Jhostynxon Garcia. Cheaper, younger. I'd give him a shot before I'd want to bring in that, right?
Yeah.
So I think we've just closed that door in that sense. And it's worth saying, we talked about it before we started, Jake. This is not a platoon guy. First off, he's right-handed, so you're talking about short-sided platoon, which means not a whole lot of playing time. But also, his numbers are good against both. And that's the scouting report. Not a platoon guy. 18 of his 21 home runs last year, I think it was, 18 of them from the right side. Or, I'm sorry, against right-handed pitching. So he's doing damage. His batting average was 20 points higher against righties. The on-base and slugging was more against lefties, but way less plate appearances. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So I think there's just this is not a platoon type guy. Again, it's just Miles says password is really good in the outfield. Media just doesn't talk about that. And I think are they not talking about it because literally he came up through the same system that has 3 Gold Gloves in it.
Yeah.
Like Wilyer Abreu and Cedon Rafaela are extra. And so he probably doesn't look as good as those guys. And Duran's really good too. That's why I like it too, because the development that he went through develops good outfielders. And he's not an exception to that. He's a good outfielder. And defense is just so important when you have a pitching first team. Defense is important, and we haven't had that other than Key Brian Hayes. Not in shortstop, not in center field, not at second base, and not in the corner outfields. Like Brian Reynolds just isn't he's got a great arm, but the outfield has dipped down. It's not as good.
Yeah.
Jack Swinsky's good in the outfield, but he's not hitting. So you don't want him in the lineup right now.
Right.
Until he's fixed. And then I just don't, again, about Jack, we bring him up because we like him, but I think it happens somewhere else.
Clark.
Is
that center fielder, I think.
Okay, you found him. Did somebody shout it out? Or you found him?
I was looking it up.
Yeah, Lawrence Butler left, but still, like
right.
I saw a shout out to Dalton Varsho. He's very good in the outfield. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are very good in the outfield. If you've watched Cedon Rafael, though, it is. I mean, he was the Gold Glover this year, but over Varsho, he's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And also can play middle infield.
Yeah.
So, I don't know.
One of those guys, man. Best athletes on the field.
Yep. Greg says, we talked about Ketel Marte a little bit ago, Greg. But yeah, you're going to have to pony up. Martin says, I think he's going to be one of those rare players that is good from the start. Hoping Griffin and Garcia to be starting in Pittsburgh on opening day. I really do. I think I'm patient with Garcia, but not more patient than halfway through the year. I think he's there this year. I think he could hit 10 home runs this year for the Pirates.
I'm patient, but to a point. If we don't get things done, if we don't get moves done, I could see a scenario where he's starting in left field on opening day with Connor Griffin at short.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping not, because I'm hoping we upgraded better. I hope we did a better job at acquiring more pieces.
Yeah.
And that he doesn't have to start opening day.
Yeah. Or that he just forces his way on in spring training.
Or he forces his way, then let's go. I'm here for it.
Right. That would be absolutely fantastic. So
Yeah.
I don't know. I really do like the trade. I don't think this is an option. I don't think this is a 2026 we're going for it move. I think this is a good baseball move and moves that you still need to make. I know that there's a lot riding on 2026, but I don't think you sacrifice 2027 and 2028 to be good this year. Like, I don't think you can do that. I really do. I like this move and this player. And the rest of the package, like, you remember last year we talked about the Horwitz deal, which was more of like a floor deal. Like, Horwitz, we know he's good. We know he can at least hit. We've seen him hit at the major league level more. He's a good first baseman. First baseman a whole. Ortiz is a good pitcher. Is he bullpen? We know he's at least solid enough to stay in the majors, right? But we don't know how far that goes. Probably not like an all-star type pitcher. And so, like, you had this like floor move where you were trying to move guys, but the two guys under Ortiz were like, but those were, that was maybe too much. You know what I mean? Now, Horwitz ended up in 1 year so far. He's been great. I don't think it gets a whole lot better. I think there's certainly room to grow. He spent much of the year coming back from a wrist injury. So I think that there's a little more pop there that we'll see happen from Horwitz. I don't know. I don't think he's a 25 homer guy. You might disagree with that, but I don't know.
I think in his best season, I think he could get 25.
Yeah, sure. In his best season, I think it's there. I think he's a solid player. He's a guy you don't replace, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Ortiz obviously just went and threw games for money, very little money, and now will never play again. But so outside of that, I think that this trade was more like Oviedo has a chance to be an all-star.
Yeah.
He has a chance to have a couple year run of like a very good pitcher. You know what I'm saying? And then the same thing with Garcia. So I think this is like a much more impact on the, in a sense, but not I plan on this guy starting right now, but he'll be here. I don't know. I like it. There's still answers. There's still answers there's still questions they have to answer for this year's team, and that's why I think like a 1 year deal in a corner outfield to me would be good. That's why I'm kind of open to like a Ryan O'Hearn. If you think he can knock 20, I guess he's not left field. He's not going to play left field. Somebody like that. Man, left field, that is tough.
I think he would. I mean, they'd throw him out there. I mean, he's an outfielder.
Is he?
Yeah. Outfield first base.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. But at that point, I mean, are you? Yeah. I don't know how the defense is out there. It looks like he spent the majority of his time in right field, 20 games in the majors in left field. You're right. That's probably a DH situation. I don't know how you fix left field at this point. But maybe you don't. If you can get the left-handed DH, maybe you don't have to go left-handed in the outfield. But if you don't, do you kind of feel like they'll hang on to Jack?
Probably.
You know what I'm saying? Like just to have another left-handed hitter out there. I don't know.
I mean, at this point, he's either gonna obviously DFA'd or he's gonna be our fourth outfielder. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. I like this move. I like that the Pirates are in the news. I like that they're willing to put money out there. We know that at this point, and I'm just going to say this too. You can choose to believe whatever you want because we'll never find the truth. Nobody will ever know. I believe there was money on the table for Naylor because that was reported. And then it was reported that there wasn't, but like one of those guys is right. One of them's not. You can take your pick. I don't care. But that just means they're hearing from different people, right? And that person says, I don't know that there was. Another person says, I know that there was, or I believe that there was, and they run with that, right? So, but let's just say, for the sake of conversation, that there was money on the table for Naylor. There's now been reported to be money on the table for Kyle Schwarber and 4 years of it, which is interesting. And I think that the Pirates are probably making a smart move going forward, but they're going to probably need to push that 140 to get to that 35 AAV if they want to try to swing anything. I don't think that, and you still might not get him at that. You know what I'm saying? Because 140 is still 140. If somebody else offers more than that and they go to that 35, and I'm talking about Philly and Cincinnati more specifically, I think the Mets would do it.
Yeah.
There's part of me that wonders if Schwarber, like if I could go the same money, I don't know that he's going to New York. Like he liked it in Philly. I think that there's, but they're going to take whatever money's the best.
I think the years seem to play a bigger effect on people
because it's overall money, right? Because it's overall, you're either guaranteed 140 or 150. If it adds another year, it also adds $10 million.
Yeah.
Even though it's less per year. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's interesting.
Yeah. I don't know, man. This might be an interesting week. If they do anything, I'm going to try my best to get on here and try to talk Jake into getting his face on here and talking about whatever they're doing. It won't be live. I don't assume it's a live thing, but we'll record something and get something out for the morning after they make a move. It's kind of, more our pace at this moment right now. But yeah, I'm excited about the fact that the Pirates are at least, like I said, putting money on the table and being willing to go out there. To me, that's encouraging. I'm still going to hold them accountable if they can. We talk about all the time. Can they cross the finish line on any of these deals? Can Ben Cherington convince somebody to get things moving, to get a player in here? Jhostynxon Garcia was a trade that I like, but also that's not a trade that makes another free agent say, oh, but they went and got Garcia. I don't know, man. I think this is it. That's not a trade that convinces anybody that they're trying. And so I think that you need something like that even. If they would have moved Keller for an Abreu or a Duran, I think that has a different impact on what a free agent thinks about the team. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If they make a move for Ketel Marte, I think you might get some guys saying like, all right, hey, let's see what we can do here.
Yeah.
Play with, I don't have to face Skeens anymore. You know what I mean? I don't have to face Skeens. I can be in a lineup where I've got a little bit of protection. And be in a lineup where I'm not asked to be the only offense they have. I think Brian Reynolds gets protection. I think it changes too.
Oh, yeah.
If Schwarber's hitting behind or in front of Reynolds, it's going to, I think, automatically make Reynolds better.
Yeah.
Like I said, I don't think they're going to get Schwarber done, Jake. I think he wants Philly or Cincy. And I have nothing to go off of except for I just think that. Right?
Yeah.
And so like it's got to be about money. Because if all things are equal, he goes to Philly. And I think if Cincy offers $2 million more, he goes to Cincy. Pirates are going to have to do more than that. And I just don't know how far they'll go. And I wonder how far they should. If they need to offer him 40 AAV, I almost think they shouldn't.
Could you think about this though? You're thinking about Schwarber, and he was part of the Cubs team that broke the curse, right?
Yeah.
Could he be like, "Ooh, I could pretty much not break two curses, but be a part of a team that broke a curse, be a part of a team that is just dragging them out from the misery they've been in for the past 20 years, 20 plus years." It's just, I don't know, man. That's something to think about. That if he does have a little bit of an ego, that he might be.
They all do. They have to have some of it.
Yeah.
You don't get to that level without a little bit of ego, a little bit of confidence, like, in a good way. Yeah. So Martin asks, when does the bidding war for Okamoto end? The Okamoto's the third baseman out of Japan, right-handed hitter, but third baseman with some pop, whatever. January 4th. I just looked it up while Jake was doing his thing. The 45-day, which Miles mentioned, 45-day window, November 21st to January 4th, 5 p.m. Eastern. So, yeah, I mean, that's another guy that is kind of in the Pirates' range that they think, I think that that's probably a guy that makes sense for third base too.
Yeah.
In the range of somebody that they would be interested in bringing in. I think that probably would be a good move to that. Gets you some international attention too, which is good. Bring in a little bit of money there too. I mean, for all accounts, we're hearing like they're in on Murakami too.
Yeah.
So, which is obviously the better. I think he's the younger and the better of the two options. It's gonna take more, but maybe a little safer.
Isn't there a cap on international signing though? Or is it just the signing bonus?
That is the amateur international.
Okay.
Yeah, you have to pay the team for the posting fee.
Right.
And then you still have to pay the contract, but no, it's a free agent. Yeah, I don't know. Do you think, Jake, as we're wrapping this thing up here, do you think they make a big signing, not trade or anything like that? Do you think they make a big signing this week?
No.
Do you think secondary? Do you think Schwarber signs this week?
I don't think so. But they need to. And he needs to. Schwarber doesn't need to for Schwarber. Schwarber needs to for the rest of the free agent market. Because it's going to be another one of those things. He's the domino that's going to fall. Once
or
he
at least
signs,
he's
I think
because you think those
more things are going to get done.
Because you think Tucker will wait.
Yeah, I think. And then Bellinger's going to wait for Tucker.
Right. And I think Tucker's going to take his time, don't you? Or do you think Tucker signs Tucker's number one, right? Would you say that?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah, I think he's number one. This is big time money right here. Yeah.
I don't know if he gets to 400, but I think he gets close.
If he goes to LA, he gets to 400. Which is where everybody thinks he's going. Toronto's pushing, but I think that he gets 400 if Toronto can't get to what LA's doing.
Yeah.
Who's one? Greg says 1, no, 2, yes. Who am I missing? Who am I not thinking of? If Tucker's not one, he's answering the questions. This is one of those things where like we're talking about this and the chat comes in, but he's talking about something we talked about 30 seconds ago. You know what I mean? So yes, he's saying the Pirates don't sign somebody, Schwarber does sign. That's what he's saying.
I got you.
The delay, guys. It's the delay.
Sometimes it gets us.
It's the delay. Miles, by the way, Miles says Quan, Schwarber, Reynolds. Oh man, that's banging. It'll be interesting. If you can get Quan,
that would be,
or if you can get Schwarber, I'm in on Quan. Just not for any of our pitching. Throw Seth Hernandez at them for Quan. Only Seth Hernandez though. No one else if you're doing that. And I'd actually be open to that.
Yeah.
Because I think that's a huge impact on your team.
Yeah, I mean that's huge. It opens it up.
We have a lot of questions to answer still. A lot of questions to ask. I'm hoping winter meetings is a lot of fun. I don't think my phone will update fast enough for everything. I don't think it's going to update. I'm like, can I just take this week off? No, because if I do, they won't sign anyone.
Right.
I don't know. It's been a long time since I've actually had the idea that the Pirates might actually make a move. Right?
Right.
This is a lot of fun, and hopefully this is a week that we will remember for the next 10 years.
Let's keep our fingers crossed.
Hey, go listen to NS9's The Point on Friday. I was on there. It was a good time. Go give those guys some love. Watch that. And if you guys want to see all baseball stuff, I should say, go check out the 3-0 Take. I've been doing some stuff with them, stat guy stuff with them. It's been a lot of fun. Good stuff. Go listen to that. You got anything, Jake?
Congrats, Jeff Kent.
Oh my gosh. Winter meetings,
almost
guys.
forgot.
We almost forgot. Winter meetings, guys. It's here.
Let's go Bucks.
Let's go, Bucks.
Thanks for
go,
listening to my
Pirates!
dad and Uncle Jake on the Bridge to Buctober podcast. Follow them on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram at Bridge2Buctober. Don't forget to subscribe so you know when new episodes are released. Clear the deck, cannonball coming, and let's go Bucks!